Well, I almost killed myself right here in the RV. Stick around. I'm going to show you what I found, what I did, and something that you are going to want to keep an eye on when you're RVing, because it's something that I never thought of, and I don't know why. I probably should have, but I didn't. So let me show you what I found. Good morning. We are up and packing up, getting things ready to go. It's travel day, but church first. We do have a long day today. We're going all the way from Orlando to south of Atlanta, but I'm not in a huge hurry. I don't normally like traveling after it gets dark, and we will be out for dark for a little bit. But church is a priority for me, so we're going to make that happen. So while the kids are getting ready, we're going to start doing as much as we can to get packed up and get ready, so there's less we got to do when we get back here later on. Start by dumping the stinkies. And I hear those devil birds back over there yelling, screaming. Disconnect our sewer, try to go ahead and disconnect our water. If we need anything, we can go off of the water pump. We do have water in the tank. I always keep water in the tank. I hear them. They're over there close. Can you guys hear that? Annoying birds. We'll get as much of this done as we can. Disconnected. When we get back, maybe all we got to do is pull on the slide, get the cat hook up. We're moving to full hookup, so that's not going to be a big issue. We have a little bit left in the tank. Time to get some fuel. Let's see if they're on the upside here, though. If they are, get some back. Yeah, buddy. My bonus 60 cents a gallon back right here at $2.82, and then there'll be an additional 10 cents should come off per gallon. All right, well, that's filling up. Do the walk around. Looks like everything is good all the way around. Headed toward Atlanta, and it's supposed to be cold, unfortunately, so pull over here and fill up with propane before we leave, because we do have an empty tank right now. Price is going up, but the gallons are just going crazy. Not even showing the gallons. Still doesn't show gallons. Let's see how much it says on the receipt. So 18.798 gallons, $11.28 cash back from upside on that. So let's get some propane. So now we're just waiting on somebody to come and fill our propane tank. Well, this is pretty reliable. It being $3.99 a gallon everywhere across the country that we've ever filled up. Most of the time, they're more than everybody else. A lot of places, you know, some are in the south or in the 2 to 3 range like this. Some are $2.99. I've gotten it as cheap as $1.99 out west, especially on the Indian reservations. But Love's is convenient. We're already stopping here for fuel. We're going to grab a bite to eat, drinks, go into the restroom. So I guess you're paying for convenience, but it is what it is. This Love's also has their Love's RV stop where you can do full hookups and everything. I've never done it. Some people like it. I just can't bring myself to pay $50 or $60 to stay in a truck stop parking lot when I can pull up and stay here for free using my own battery power. So I think somebody's coming to fill the propane tank now, so we'll go for there. Well, odd thing is that I know this tank was empty, and he only put 3.1 gallons in it and said it was full. I know it's not full. I can also tell I'm picking it up. I think he didn't want to get his hands into it because he didn't wear the gloves and open the bleeder valve, and says, well, there was propane coming out. There was no propane coming out the bleeder valve, but it'll get us by for now. So I got another almost full tank here. So, all right, let's put the cat in and go get some food. There's a kitty cat. And some water. Uh-oh. Kitty cat's not here. Kitty cat's not here.
Yeah.
Wow, Holmes not coming for treats.
He says, I know this trick.
He's up on top of the slide. There's a cat on top of the slide. And he's about to be very angry at me if he doesn't get down. I tried to do it the nice way.
My hand's shaky, so this is not going to be good parents at all.
Tried to do it the nice way. See what we deal with here? This thing right here. This thing wanted to get on top of the slide. Make it difficult trying to get him out. I guess we're going to have to go to a cage, and you'll just be like Dexter from the Hanks family and ride around a cage. How do you like that? Good morning and welcome to icy cold Atlanta, Georgia. In the teens last night. 21 degrees when we woke up this morning, because we will figure it out over here. Got us up in this cold weather, but you know what? It is what it is, right? It's almost Christmas. We're going to have a little fun here at the Georgia State High School Football Championships. Have some fun. Now, you know it is bad when you're inside a building and still bundled up like this. I got on my Life is Good beanie, hoodie, jacket, got on a t-shirt underneath this. We're inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, and it is still so cold over by the doors where this store is at. So, Atlanta, you need to turn the heater on because this air conditioner is for the birds. It is so cold in here. Kylie's over here on a heat press for the t-shirts, trying to keep her hand warm. Got to make sure I lock the door and walk around so he didn't want to move on. Locked. All right, let's go to Tennessee. $2.34 a gallon here at Buc-ee's in Leeds, Alabama. I did see cheaper back down the road a little bit at like $2.28 at a Pilot, but I'm so irritated right now. You guys know that just a few weeks ago I had this new windshield put in the truck. Look at this. Literally just right back down the road. This truck, recycling truck out of Illinois, threw a rock, watched it coming, watched right from the truck. Nothing we could do about it. It just smacked, just nailed us, busted that windshield. So 3 weeks, barely 3 weeks with a new windshield. Oh well, I guess fuel and go in here in Buc-ee's and keep going north. Well, we made it back to family for the holidays. Left when it was raining several weeks ago. Raining when we came back. Made it through some nasty rain and a little bit of hail last night. And so now it's time to get situated on things before Christmas comes around and everything's closed. So gotta get some propane. Got at least one empty tank and another one that's probably almost empty. So we're gonna get those things wrapped up, loaded up. We'll drop stuff off at the storage unit here and get some propane. I guess maybe get a little bit of Christmas shopping done if there's going to be anything get put under the tree. So let's go. So after our travel day from Atlanta back to Tennessee, we got in, and as soon as we opened the door, it was like, oh God, something died. And so we were thinking that somewhere along the line, being in the woods in Florida or coming through Atlanta, we got a mouse or a rat or something that got in and died somewhere. So it was only concentrated to the front part of the camper. When you walked in the door, you smelled it. It wasn't in the bathroom. You didn't really have it in the bunk room or anything like that. So yesterday, I started digging through things and trying to figure out what was going on so I could find this dead rat. So this is what I started with. First, I started right down here underneath my stove, which is the access to my water pump area and furnace ducting. And then I ended up underneath the refrigerator with the stove. Actually, let's back up here just a moment. I need Dr. Pepper. I'm a little late, 10, 2, and 4. It's 11:22, but get my Dr. Pepper. Anyway, so first thing I did was I thought, okay, well, we dumped all our tanks. We're empty. I didn't put water back in them like you're supposed to. You know, when you dump your tanks, you should always run a small layer, a couple toilet bowls, flush in and put your treatment in. Same thing with your gray tank. Run a little bit of water, put treatment in. I didn't do that when we left Atlanta because I was in a hurry to get on the road. We were racing the weather. So my first thought was, okay, well, maybe I'm getting some smell back out of that because those things are dry for the most part. I mean, there's residual water. But so I treated all of those first thing and let it sit. Well, by the next morning when it was still going on, that's when I went on the hunt. So I thought these enclosed compartments, maybe somewhere around the furnace. It was insanely cold in the teens in Atlanta, so mice were probably looking for warmth. So maybe they got into the furnace. So I checked all around in that area. I even took the furnace apart, guys, and without taking it out. That was my next step this morning. I was going into completely removing the furnace and getting the bore scope and going through everything and looking up in all the inside compartments and everything to make sure there was nothing there. Found nothing. So went to bed last night. Thank God I woke up because as of this morning, it was getting worse. I was smelling it more in my bedroom. It was starting to warm up outside. So I got up, got moving. The smell was really, really bad. I still wasn't getting any smell other than just like a decay smell, like something died. I mean, if you've been around a decaying animal or rats or something like that that has died, you know the smell that I'm talking about here. So I was sitting over there on the recliner like I do every morning, putting my shoes on, and I happened to look over on the floor here by my bathroom is where my LP and CO2 detector is. Well, I'm sorry, it's the LP detector. It's a propane detector. You can see it shows 0.0 right now. Well, as I was putting my shoes on, I was noticing that thing 0.9, 1.2, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. It never got to the point that the alarm went off on it. I think it was getting pretty close, but it hadn't gotten there. It was just fluctuating. So I immediately went out to the truck and I got my propane sniffer that I use all the time. I got that, and I got my spray, leak detector spray, some of the tools that I use as a tech to detect where leaks are. And I turned this on outside. It's good wind outside. Let it clear itself out. As soon as it gave me the alert, the beep that it was good and ready to start doing its sniffing, detecting thing, I opened the door and walked in. And as soon as I walked in the door, this thing just beep, 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 beep. It was green, beeping. And as soon as I walked around the corner of my island, this thing turned red and went nuts. So all around the stove, furnace, refrigerator area where I was concentrating is where it was going from. When I looked up, and the front burner, the center knob on my stove was just ever so slightly bumped into the on position from off. I turned that off. I went ahead and sprayed all the connections real quick. Shot outside because I didn't see any bubbles pop up real quick. So went in, shot outside, and turned off all the propane to the unit. Even though I do have a gas stop on my propane tanks, the gas stop didn't detect because, in a sense, it wasn't a real leak. It was a created propane coming through the stove very slowly, like the system is thinking, okay, well, the stove is being used, so that's the amount of propane that's coming through. So I turned the propane off outside, turned the stove off, opened the doors, opened the exhaust vent, open the range hood vent over the stove. Everything cleared out pretty quickly. The sniffer went silent. So we're going to give it a half hour, hour or so or more before I turn propane back on, now that I know everything is off and everything is clear in here. And then we're going to see from there. So I guess good and bad is I don't have a dead mouse or a rodent somewhere in here that I got to find or go searching for or cutting in the underbelly or anything. But I did have a potentially deadly situation, so I think it probably got bumped somehow on travel day with the slide being closed. We have to come through and kind of squeeze through there. It was a long travel day, so on long travel days we leave our bathroom door open so we can come in one at a time and go to the bathroom. So I think we might have bumped it coming in or out or grabbing the cat, something like that. So just something to keep an eye on, guys, in these RVs. Those stoves are easy to bump on the knobs, so always be on the lookout. Make sure that those knobs are staying in the off position and that they're not getting bumped, because my entire rig was full of propane and one spark could have been the end of the story. So anyway, we're going to go on and take care of some other stuff. Look at this. Look who's hanging out of my Dr. Pepper box over here. Santa Claus really doesn't like Coca-Cola. It's a front, because all of his elves apparently, they like Dr. Pepper. Because we woke up and found this little joker in the Dr. Pepper box this morning, trying to drink on some Dr. Pepper. So now we spent the rest of the day here taking care of some things and gotten back in, gotten everything buttoned back up, all the panels back on here in the camper. Came back in after letting everything air out. I had the doors closed while we were going to town. Came back. Smell was pretty much gone. Just a little faint smell still here. By now, everything is pretty much cleared out. No dead animal smells or anything. Turned the propane back on, had it on for a while, ran the sniffer around everything, all my connections to the furnace and underneath and all the lines. Again, just for safety, did propane drop tests. Peace of mind, safety and everything. So everything's worked out pretty well. So I think we know what the culprit is. We know what to check. That is now on our checklist for departures and arrivals. So it's part of our walk around and our setup procedure from now on, that everybody's responsible for putting a set of eyes on, make sure everything is safe. So live and learn. That's something that everybody needs to be aware of as you travel. Anything can happen. Take it from us. Lessons learned from the life of full-time RV family. So we're going to wrap this up. Get ready for church tomorrow, because that is a priority. Coming up on Christmas. Got to remember the reason for the season. So we hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful Christmas. Again, remember the reason for the season. Birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We'll see you next week.